Ladies and gentlemen, it's now 7 o'clock, and I'd like to call tonight's Chelmsford Conservation Commission meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded and televised this evening. The first item we have on tonight's agenda is the open session citizen concerns. If somebody in our audience, either in front of us or online, has a question for us or something they'd like to talk to us about, just not on tonight's agenda, just raise your hand, let us know, but then give us your name and address, and if anybody in the meeting room here would come up to the podium so we could then get that recorded, it would be so good. All right, does anyone have anything for the open session, citizen concerns? All right, looks like we're good, all right. Moving on to the agenda for this evening, we have our regulatory hearings. The first item we have is the notice of intent filing on behalf of Michelle Nestor, 77 Concord Road. Katie Enright is present representing the applicant from the firm of Howard, Stein, and Hudson. We should have a legal notice to read into the record. Carl?
Mr. Chair, pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing in room 204 at the Chelmsford Town Offices, 50 Billerica Road, on Tuesday, February 15th, 2022, at 7 p.m. to consider the notice of intent filed by property owner Michelle Nestor for proposed work within the 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands at 77 Concord Road, further identified as map 111, block 412, lot 60 on the Chelmsford Assessor's map. The project entails construction of an in-ground pool. Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you very much, Carl. And so now we'll have an overview of the proposed work in the application from the applicant's engineer. Katie, good evening.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Katie Enright with Howard, Stein, Hudson. I'm here tonight with Michelle Nestor, who's the property owner, and also Ed Snyder, who's with the pool company, is on the phone with us tonight. The property is 77 Concord Road. It was cut off back in 2016 to 2018 from Dr. Clarity's parcel. I don't know if you remember that, way back when. We went through the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Conservation Commission then. To build a single-family house, which is shown on that. This is the same exact plan, it's just prettier, it has colors on it so you can see what's going on. So the proposal was for a single-family house with a yard and the driveway that extended back. The Nestors purchased the house from the people who purchased it from the Claritys after the house was built, and they would like to put in an in-ground pool. And so we're looking to put the in-ground pool in. This is not a minor exemption because it's actually just within the 50-foot no structure. I believe we're 37, just a little over 37 feet with the pool itself, 30.5 feet with the edge of the concrete deck. So that's why we're here before you today, is because it's work within the buffer zone. And it is a pool, it's within the existing lawn area, but we are inside the 50-foot offset, which is why we had to seek the notice of intent. David Kuntz, your conservation agent, and I had a site walk today with Ed at 2 o'clock, and there were some questions that Mr. Kuntz had for us. One of them being in regards to a certificate of compliance for the single-family house that's there today. I've been researching since I left you.
And I got your email, thank you.
And after an extensive search of my archived email from July of 2018, I found the list that I had sent to the home builder regarding things that needed to be addressed prior to me certifying the completion of the project. So we are here tonight, obviously, to talk to you about the pool. We do understand that we need to clean up that existing notice of intent, or order of condition, sorry, that's still out there, and make sure we come back before you to get a certificate of compliance on record for the work that was previously done. And we certainly understand if you have to continue this hearing or make any kind of decisions contingent on that certificate of compliance being done. Ms. Nestor and I talked about this today. It's unfortunate. They bought the house with a provision or a trust that the builder was going to didn't have time to get the COs or the certificate of compliance issued due to holidays and when they had their closing scheduled. It was promised to her that it would get done after the closing. From my emails, no one ever reached back out to me to close the loop. So that was never done before the commission. Ms. Nestor and I have talked about that today and what that's going to take. And they're willing to obviously take that on to make sure that they can move forward with this project. So I certainly will be back before you with that request. And after I do my site visit, based upon the original plan, come back before the commission to talk about trying to close that out. So with that, that's really all I had for tonight. The commission has any questions?
Thanks, Katie. David, anything you want to add right now before we go to commissioner questions?
Just a couple of things. I don't see any major issues with this project. I did do a site visit today with Katie and Mr. Snyder, who's the contractor who will be installing the pool. Just talked about some, standard things like you need a detailed work sequence. I would also recommend that, the location of the pool and the patio be staked prior to the start of work, that the 25 and 30 foot no disturb, the 25 foot no disturb and the 30 foot no impervious setbacks be staked in the area of the pool prior to the start of work. I did ask about stockpile areas or area for construction materials and excavated soil. Apparently, there's not going to be any. That the soil that's excavated for the pool is actually going to be spread on the property for a little bit of a regrading. So it's basically going to be reused. My understanding from Mr. Snyder is that there's no backwashing of the pool. There's going to be no need to drain the pool for any purpose whatsoever. With what I just mentioned being included as conditions, I think it's something the commission can approve. With regard to the certificate of compliance issue that Katie just talked about, I guess my recommendation would be that this project be conditioned or be contingent upon the filing of the request. That would be my recommendation, rather than that it needs to be issued before this project can start. But obviously that's the commission's prerogative to make that decision. But that would be my recommendation.
All right. Good. Well, thanks, David. Thanks for your comments. John, let's see if the commission has questions.
So the certificate of compliance doesn't matter tonight, basically?
I don't think so.
Well, I would say again that this new project is contingent upon only receiving a request for a certificate of compliance.
Okay.
for the house. And Katie has indicated to me already in an email that she's going to file that as soon as she can. So I expect it to be forthcoming shortly.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the homeowner would want the certificate of compliance, independent of
Yeah,
anything.
so,
Be a good piece of paper to have in their possession.
nope, as far as you're okay with the stockpiles and everything, I'm all set.
Okay. John, thanks. Chris?
I'm all set.
Good. Dave?
David, you're comfortable with the wetland flagging?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
good. I don't think we need to, there are no waivers that we need to give with this project at all. It doesn't meet the definition of building, so it doesn't need to, we don't need an exemption there. We do have operating procedures for pools somewhere in your files, Dave.
Yes,
So
Katie mentioned that.
we should give to the applicant so they have them there, and we ought to reference that in the standard order of conditions that there is. It just gets, ma'am, it just gets to how you maintain the pool. That's all it is. So you're doing what we don't want certain things to happen. So that's all I had.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Good. Bill?
No, I'm fine with this.
Good. Mark?
I noticed that there's a cross-country sewer line going through the property,
That's correct.
and you're tapped into it right on the property.
That's correct.
You're gonna have to cross that when you're doing excavation and stuff, so you're gonna have to
They're gonna
dig it up or
get
put it.
close, yep. Yeah, they're going to have to, we'll probably work with Mr. Snyder to make sure that that's also flagged in some way, at least based on what we have for survey information, so they know that that's there.
And I can,
We typically, just to chime in, this is Ed Snyder, we do typically lay down metal plates crossing any sewer piping.
Okay. Any plans if you have to de-water?
We have to de-water. Well, I suppose, in this situation, running up to the street would be our only solution.
and I can just comment on that there is a standard condition that said that any groundwater encountered during excavation shall be pumped away from wetlands.
How deep will the pool be?
This pool is 6 foot.
And how deep was the foundation in the house? Do you know, you may not know, or do you?
I do not, haven't seen the plans of the house.
Do you-
I imagine they
Chances
experienced
are
water.
the foundation, chances are the cellar of the building is deeper than the
Yes.
pool is, right?
It is. It's a full basement, I know that.
I don't recall there being a dewatering problem when that house was built.
Okay. Yep, so storm drain to the street is typical in these situations with conservation present.
Okay, I don't, is there straw wattle shown on here?
Yes, and that's one thing, Mark, I was gonna mention, if it's okay through the chair. What we're looking to do is on-site and talking with Ed today about, we have shown a 3-to-1 slope away from the pool to make the pool flat. What we'd like to do is be able to spread that out a little bit more to make it a little less steep right at the edge of the pool. The area is lawn already. So one of the things that Mr. Snyder had asked me to do today was ask the commission if we could maybe extend that back line kind of back towards those boulders, another 10 feet or so that we can kind of spread that area out so it's not a steep slope off the patio, to move that erosion control line back just a little bit to give him more room to work.
No, that seems reasonable to me.
Thank you.
Okay, no, I think that's it. I'm all set.
Good. Thanks, Mark. Carl?
Are there any trees in this area right now?
No, it's entirely lawn.
It's all lawn? Yeah, I mean, you always have to remove water from a pool. I have one in the winter. It fills up, so it does get, you do have to de-water at times, occasionally. That's all I've got, really. I don't have anything else.
All right, good. Thanks.
It's a salt pool?
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Okay.
We install a overflow system, so any excess rainwater will automatically flow out that overflow system, which we can direct towards the side of the house. So if you see on the plan, the AC units, my plan was to run that overflow line, which is 1.5 inches, about 2.5 inches from the top of pool. That allows for any excess water from rain to naturally flow out.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just, one other,
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
is there a little structure for the filter and stuff? Or is it gonna be towards the house under?
Yeah, right next to the AC units in the corner of the house. No structure, just on a concrete, prefab concrete pad forms.
Okay,
So those two things you just mentioned can be shown on the as-built plan,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
The overflow and the filter unit.
It's kind of where they have their drain now, which I assume is probably the basement dewatering, as you noted, they're one of the commission members. I believe that PVC drain coming out by the AC units is a sub pump in the basement.
Yep, okay.
Good. Any more questions from the commissioners? Comments, commissioners? This is a public hearing, so if anybody from the public has a question or comment for us, just let us know. All right, we have no public questions or comments. I would entertain a motion then for approval with a standard order of conditions.
I move we grant this we approve this project, we're going to grant a standard order of conditions and attach to that the our operation maintenance guide or whatever it is for pool maintenance.
Thanks, Dave. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Bill. Any discussion or comments before we vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None? Unanimous.
Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Nestor, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item we had on tonight's agenda was a continuation of a notice of intent from February 1st. That was the town of Chelmsford was the applicant related to 1 to 104 Turnpike Road. I believe we had a request for a continuance,
Yep, to March 1st.
March 1st, to our next meeting. So if I could just have a motion then to continue this matter to our next meeting on March 1st, we'll take a vote to that effect.
So move.
Moved by Dave, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Chris. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, so that's on for March 1st, our next meeting. All right, so now moving on the agenda, we've got our discussion items. We've been tracking Oddfellows situation. Anything new to update on
Some
that?
guys working there today. They're taking stuff out the back. Still sticking. Actually, I think they were emptying a dumpster, but the building was open.
And that reminds me, I should check, has anyone noticed whether the dumpster's been moved?
The dumpster was to the right of the back door.
Okay.
I don't know if that was moved or not, but
Well,
that's where it was.
It was promised to me that the dumpster would be moved further away from the wetlands,
Well,
up toward that wall that separates the
Well, it
two.
certainly is on that side of the door towards the wall where the parking is. It's in the parking area. Probably couldn't get much further away from the stream.
All right,
Okay.
good, that's
Okay.
perfect.
But I'll double check,
Good.
just to verify in any case.
Good, excellent. All right, good. Then we're moving on to our land management piece of tonight's meeting. That's an update on Warren-Pohl Reservation. Carl?
Yeah, Dave and David and I will meet tomorrow to go through the latest comments on the CR from the Land Trust. I know David's working on the order conditions for the parking lot. Working that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And the Land Stewardship, Inc. is planning to do their baseline documentation survey early in March. I have not heard back from them. I sent her a note either today or I think it was today I sent it. Don't have that confirmed or a date, but that's the plan. So other than that.
Good.
Is
anything else?
your comment, we're waiting for the order of conditions. How does that interfere, how does that interact with DEP comments? Or haven't they even seen, we have received comments from DEP.
We have received comments, which I responded to.
We haven't heard back from the response.
No, we haven't, although I don't.
So what do you
there's
mean
two-
when you say order of conditions?
Well, I'm writing the order of conditions, which I
So the
apologize
work,
for taking
and the DP, it's not stopping DPW, but that's the official document of
Right.
what will be done.
Yes.
Okay, so have we heard back from DEP on
No.
our response?
No, and I don't think we will unless they appeal the order of conditions. I mean, I will send them the copy of the order of conditions as soon as it's issued, and unless they.
We
appeal
don't
it.
need their responses.
Right.
They can let it run. But
Right.
is it 20 business days, or is it, I wasn't sure when I put that little note.
20 business days for what?
If DEP does not respond within a certain amount of time, we can assume they have no further questions. Is that correct?
I don't know that that's necessarily true. The amount of back and forth that DB
What I
engages in.
don't want
varies
is I don't want DPW sitting on their hands saying, oh, we haven't been given the authority to proceed, and here we are in the middle of the summer, and the parking lot still isn't built. So,
Well, strictly speaking, they don't have the authority to proceed because they don't have the order of conditions.
Right.
It really,
yeah, it's not DEP's comments.
right,
Okay.
right.
So you can, and as Carl said, you're doing that, so
Right, and I'm
I would hope
nearly
the minute,
finished.
the minute the ground's thawed, that we can get number one on their priority. They're unbelievably silent, so.
Well, I'll keep after them.
We don't have our liaison anymore either.
What's that?
We don't have, what's his name, I forgot, Steve?
Mr. Yonley,
Yanley, yeah.
yeah, we need to develop a new contact at
Right,
DPW.
Ludwig is.
Scott is very responsive
Yep,
to
yep,
me.
Yep.
I just don't know how much authority he has, with all due respect to him. But you're right, he's very responsive.
Good. All right, good. Well, we'll keep tracking that.
There is,
That- oh.
yeah, go ahead, finish.
That's all on Warren-Pohl. The only other thing is that
Let
just.
me stay on Warren-Pohl for a minute.
Okay.
There was a warrant article in Springtown meeting to give us 2 easements on Warren-Pohl. Remember, the town has to give an easement to the Gadboys on Park, on Park, because their garage is right on the corner of a piece of land that's ours. And the second easement is for the 2 houses?
I believe it's one. on,
One house at Kate Lane.
Kate Lane, Hall Road.
That's on, so the town meeting has to approve that, so it should not be a problem. But there are some gadflies at town meeting who may want to ask some questions, so just keep your ears and eyes open. So that's, we need that approval, and that's April's, what is it, April?
Yeah, April.
Yeah.
Good.
Just a bit of information that Phil shared, that there was a coyote attack of a dog at the Cranberry Bog this past weekend, and the owner of the dog chased away the coyotes. But in the meantime, this morning, Phil was there and found a dead dog, or a dead coyote. I got a picture of it. Some of you have seen that picture. It's hard to tell if it's a dog
Right.
or a coyote. Not good, but I don't know if that's something that the animal dog control officer would remove, or.
I was saying to Carl on the way up, it was
I
in
don't
the
know what we
woods.
do with that.
It's in the woods. It's not on a street, it's not on a homeowner's
It's
property.
right on the trail, I guess, but.
And there is, I mean, Phil did a report a week or couple of weeks ago, that he had seen a pack of coyote running out there. Well, and this is the time of year, because they're this is mating season for coyotes, so we're gonna see a lot of them. I don't think we have to clean it up, it's in the woods, but if somebody thinks it doesn't look good, then
I
maybe we
might get out
should.
there in the next couple of days to see it, but I haven't been there yet, so. I don't know. So anyway, just people's information. There are coyotes out and about, but that's true everywhere, so.
But yeah, for dog owners, you gotta be really extra careful.
Yep.
You know,
Well,
pet owners.
also, remember, Chelmsford has a leash law, and obviously, when people go to the Cranberry Bog, and they tend to let their dogs run loose, which is okay, we understand it, but they need to understand it too, if their dog gets in a fight.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's all I've got.
Thanks, Carl. Good. All right, so land management update and signature. We
Can
have
I bring up 2 things?
yeah.
We had asked Katie, I know, on the Turnpike application, I know this is not a hearing, and I don't mean it to be, that area where she wants to put the compensatory storage has been deemed by Natural Heritage to be a habitat. And they will request of us and the applicant to do some, what is it called, turtle plan, what?
Turtle protection plan.
They may ask us to do a turtle protection plan. We've never done any of those things before, so we need to understand what's involved in it. Dave may have. Remember, there's some work being done out there by Zoo New England, so they don't have a say in it, and they don't do that kind of thing. But whatever I'm bringing it up because it's the first time as a commission we've been involved in something like that. And and we ought to try to do it right.
Yeah, but maybe, David, you can do some research around that for us, so when it comes back in, they're coming back in with the first, right? So,
Yes.
Well, and I think,
So we should be
I think
prepared.
Katie's seen all the correspondence, so.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think from the commission's perspective, I think the main issue is going to be that the town is going to likely have to hire a biologist to visit, the.
The town or the applicant?
Well, which is the town.
I understand, but it's not us.
Right, it's not us. I mean,
And there is grant money for this term, for this,
that's my understanding, but I don't know the
oh,
details.
I think they said there was grant money for it.
But I think, well, probably will take a little bit of working with, the grant administrator, whoever was awarded the grant, but, it shouldn't be that expensive, really, compared to the overall project cost.
Yeah.
I would, okay.
Dave, you got something else?
I have asked, or Dave is doing something, I've asked, you guys may remember over the summer, there's an account sitting somewhere in the accounting department called Conservation Contributions, which we've used in the past. The agent has dipped into it, that's not a negative term. The agent has gone into the account whenever we needed funds that we didn't have
It's
in our
authorized,
budget.
yes.
Pretty loose accounting. And I don't even know how much money is in the account. I'm pretty sure we've never spent 100% of it. It could be, a couple of $100 every year. Dave has seen it at Lancaster. He's asked Jack Souza to take a look at, it's almost like creating some kind of a revolving fund.
Yes.
But in it, the Conservation Commission approves the expenditures.
Yeah.
We have not done that in the past. I think we should. I
Yeah.
think it's just good
Yeah,
practice.
good oversight.
So we'll wait and see what Jack Souza comes up with. Is
Yeah.
it Jack or John?
It's John.
John.
I actually had a couple of emails back and forth with him today. He was able to dig up the warrant article where the town voted its acceptance of the Conservation Commission Act
For
back
Chelm-
in 1961.
The Chelmsford?
Yes,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, I've been on the commission a while, but I haven't been on that long.
So, and he showed me right in the statute, I probably should have known this before, he showed me right in the statute, it appears that since it's written right into the statute or it appears to be written, that fund is created upon the town's acceptance of that statute. It doesn't appear to me, from thinking about it more, that maybe there isn't another town meeting vote required to create that account. I'll do a little bit of more research to
Well, I mean,
verify it.
there is an account that does exist.
Yeah, and.
You probably don't, you don't see the numbers, though, that's all.
Well, but I'm going to ask the accounting office
Good.
for regular reports on that account as
Excellent.
well.
That's good. I appreciate it. We're getting a lot more insight into the financials, really, with David being on board here, so this is good. Appreciate it. All right, well, we have some certificate of compliance. Have we voted on the certificate of compliance yet? Is it just need a signature, or is it,
No, it needs to be voted.
need to vote on it? Okay, well, why don't you tell us about it then?
So, if the commission recalls, there were, in the notice of intent, the subject notice of intent, it was actually a 3-lot subdivision down off of Boston Road. Actually, it was, one of the lots was an A&R lot, the other 2 was a 2-lot subdivision.
Is that his?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes,
So
so,
he can't vote.
looking.
Right.
So he
Yeah,
can't,
I can, no, I know.
he can't, so he
That's
can't
why I'm
vote.
sitting over here by myself.
Let the record show that John Swenson is abstaining from this matter.
All by himself.
He has recused himself officially from all matters related to this.
All matters.
so the notice of intent was actually for 3 new house lots, construction of 3 new houses, one of which was an A&R, 2 of which were in a new subdivision. In doing a little bit of research, it turns out that the A&R lot, the commission has already issued the certificate of compliance for the A&R lot, which is the lot there right at the corner of Boston Road and Harvest Lane. So that it's really, the certificate of compliance that the commission is voting on tonight is actually just for the 2 remaining lots, which have the frontage on Harvest Lane, and notice Mr. Melissy is here. So I did a site visit with him on last Thursday. Everything is fine with these 2 lots. Everything is in compliance. The drainage is working. The vegetation is fully established and growing. So I recommend that the commission vote
All right.
this certificate.
I move we issue a certificate of compliance
Moved by Dave.
for 1290848 is the DEP number, it's Harvest Lane.
Very good. Do we have a motion by Dave? Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Bill. Any discussion before we vote? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous, except that we please note that John Swenson has abstained from this vote.
He probably should have left the room.
I agree.
Yeah, he put pressure on me.
I feel threatened.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you for your,
Mark, he's coming too. He's square number 10.
So I'm also passing around the determination of applicability for 14 Lovett Lane, or the signature page anyway, so if you could sign
All right.
both.
We're going to sign both documents then. All right.
Eric's in the hospital, needs an operation on his foot.
Yeah.
Jesus, that poor guy has had more health issues since he got his stomach taken. It's too bad.
I know.
Okay.
Exactly. Do we have minutes? Are there minutes for February 1st?
I didn't get any minutes from.
I haven't seen anything. Okay. We'll table that. And agents report?
Nothing
We're good?
above what's already been discussed.
Good. All right. So then we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Dave, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Chris. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. This meeting is adjourned. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the meeting
Right
tonight.
away.
What's that?